least a week. Joining us right now, Congressman Tom Suozzi from Long Island. He voted yes for impeachment. Nice to have you back on Good Day New York. Some of your fellow New York Congresspeople did not vote yes for impeachment. How do you move forward with everybody?
You know, we really have to get back on the same page again, but that's not going to happen until after January 20th. We really are still in danger. I'm happy that the president came out yesterday and finally condemned the violence. He needs to tell his supporters to stay home because there are more soldiers surrounding the U.S. Capitol right now than we have in Afghanistan. This was a really scary thing. I was in the chamber. I spoke to you guys about this before. I was in the chamber when this whole thing went down, and it was terrifying. And what would we do if the president came out and said, hey, come on down again. I need you to come down again. We got to stop the steal. We need the president to continue to denounce the violence and to tell people to stay home.
Do you plan on going to the inauguration next week? Do you feel comfortable?
Well, I'm going to the inauguration. I'm not as comfortable as I would normally be. My family's not joining me. I am going. I feel it's my duty to go. But I don't feel, you know, I get the briefings like everybody else does. And there are thousands of militia people, white nationalists throughout the country that are talking about coming to Washington, D.C. armed and ready to confront the Capitol Police and the National Guard and the D.C. Police. They're ready to confront. And we need to keep doing everything we can between now and then to investigate, find out who these folks are, stop them from coming, and have the president continue to call off his supporters from coming to Washington.
And Congressman, there are some other investigations that have been launched into members' possible involvement in giving tours and following through with this plot. Do you know anything about that?
I only know what everybody else is talking about. I've talked to some of my colleagues. I've read the things in the paper. You know, we'll have to withhold judgment until these proper investigations are done.
Do you think that by having the trial once Biden takes the office, that will somehow dominate or take over some of the other work that really needs to be done on behalf of Americans as it relates to COVID and jobs, stimulus?
It's going to make it more difficult, absolutely. I mean, there are real downsides to the impeachment. It divides the country further. It's going to distract from the Biden agenda, concerned about the precedent, about how quickly it's moved. There's all kinds of different downsides, but the reality is that we need to let people know that you can't do this in America. You can't incite people to violence to attack the Capitol, and you have to be held accountable. So we need to stand strong. We have to be able to do a couple things at once. New York State needs tremendous help from the federal government. We need state and local aid here. We need more help for our small businesses. We need to get the economy moving again. There's so many things we need to do. I'm very big agenda item for me is to restore the state and local tax deduction. We've got a lot of work to do. But I think that Joe Biden is going to surprise people at what a good job he does at actually calling people together, both Republicans and Democrats. We need people to work together. It's the only way we're going to move forward.
You know, you talk about working together. A freshman congressperson from Georgia is planning on filing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden next week. How do you move forward? It still seems like everybody is not on the same page.
Well, everybody will never be on the same page. There's no question about that. But what we need to do is to stop letting the extreme voices on both sides control the conversation. It's not the far left and the far right. Most of us are somewhere in the middle that say, hey, can't you guys just get along with each other? Can't you just work it out? That's where most people are. That's what the people want. And I think that Biden has the heart and, more importantly, the political skill to bring people together. He knows what this town is like. He did it for 40 years. Everybody knocks him, oh, 40 years, 40 years. Well, you know, he knows everybody, and he knows how the system works. He knows how politics works. And politics is not a dirty word that everybody's made it into be. And it's a skill that he has, and he knows how to bring people together. You know, every single president, I don't care who was, Obama, Clinton, Bush, whoever, you know, Trump, the other side is always trying to knock you out. That's the way of the world. Some politicians, some presidents are able to navigate that and overcome that and get things done. When you don't have any political skill, you can't overcome that. So Biden has the heart because he genuinely cares about people. He's been through so many ups and downs in his public and personal life, and he has the skills to bring people together. So January 20th can't come soon enough for me.
We hope so, because our country needs healing right now. But a lot of people are concerned. Joe Biden does know D.C. He's been part of the fabric of that, that group, the political movement, for a very, very long time, and people are concerned. And I don't want to say it. I'm glad you did. But you know, some people are concerned about his you know, involvement with China, his son's involvement in China, and really, you know, how do we go forward?
I'm on the commission on China, the Congressional Executive Commission on China, which looks at China human rights. We are going to go after China. China treats its own people awfully. They've got people in forced labor camps. They exile people. The way they're treating the students in Hong Kong. They cheat when it comes to economic trade. They're trying to build up their military. They're trying to take over economically, technologically, militarily, air, land, space. We've got to stay strong against China. There's no way we're going back to the way things were before with China. They have got to be held accountable.
All right. Long Island Congressman Tom Suozzi joining us this morning. Thank you for taking the time with us.
Hey, thank you both.
All right.